All right, we are back on the Hololive train, this time courtesy of Thomas. Thank you very much. We're going to be listening to Reflect by Gura, one of her, I think her very first OG song, so I'm very curious. Let's go. The Greek? Is that a lyre as well? I mean, it definitely fits with the whole Greek mythology theme and Gura being from Atlantis. Da 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 da. Okay, there's a bit of Phrygian there. Who says she's a bad shark? Oh. I'm kind of loving how synth heavy this is. Okay, it's sort of like a duet of herself. This is actually quite a dark, heavy song. Oh, it's herself. Okay. She's kind of like fighting against another version of herself. Evil troll version. Scrawny. Gura's not scrawny, she's just bite-sized. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, I love that switch up in vibe. To reflect this more darker, reflective mode. Is this like a personification of all the insecurities that she has? It's actually really sad. Okay, back in 4/4. Bam. That was a great build up. Man, that was an interesting use of different time signatures to sort of portray a sense of turmoil and uncertainty, but then later just discovering her confidence again. Shizukani. She's still there. Okay, it's really interesting that they changed to the Phrygian when the red Gura comes out. Like da 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 da. Man, so they're using both like sort of scale changes and time signature changes to portray the conflict between the red and the blue Guras. That's interesting. Also, Gura's so badass. Bum 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 bum. Oh man, I love that lyre. I wish they'd use that more, but I also kind of get why they didn't. What was that last line? Nothing bad is without something good. Okay. I also love a Greek. Okay, so essentially, I mean, that's a positive message, right? Like it's about accepting the good and the bad parts of yourself, all parts of yourself, and just accepting that that's who you are and you don't have to change for anyone else. I liked this song. Before I comment on the music side of things, I would just like to say that I'm impressed with how the song was able to convey the themes of like inner conflict and self-doubt quite effectively. It was like the red evil Gura battling it out with the blue genuine Gura, or rather not battling, but more like annoying her and weighing her down with all of these doubts and insecurities. So I guess the red Gura represented all of the negative thoughts and the doubt that understandably can haunt someone who has attained a significant level of success and in the public eye as well. I guess this was a song that accurately reflected Gura's own struggles with questions of authenticity and living up to her audience's expectations. And also, I got a sense of like inferiority complex despite her being one of the most successful content creators out there. But that's understandable too. You know, these entertainers, especially when they become so big, they're under constant pressure to deliver and to keep up that image that they've built around themselves. So it's quite sad actually, but also quite empowering given how the song finished. The title of the song reflect the water imagery, the literal splitting of herself into two personas. It all suggested this conflict between different versions of herself and her questioning like which is the real one. Now, the reason why I liked this song quite a lot actually is because the music used various ways to reflect those themes of conflict. And I always love when music has something to say that is in line with the overall story that the artist is trying to tell, when the story reinforces the music and vice versa. There was a conflict in how they constantly flipped between the A Phrygian scale and then the A natural minor. Now, the only difference between those two lies in like the flatted second of the A Phrygian. So A Phrygian, it's like da 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 da. There's your flatted second. And the Phrygian scale is often called the Arabic scale. It's technically a mode of the major scale, which just means that it's made up of the same notes as the major scale, but it starts on the third degree of that scale instead of the first degree. The main thing is though that the Phrygian mode is used most often to create this ominous feeling or to convey darker themes through music, which totally fits the bill because it seems like the A Phrygian scale in Reflect became this motif for red Gura, while when blue Gura sings or like takes over from red Gura, it's mostly in the A natural minor. So for instance, like the very start of this song, I think it's actually when red Gura first makes her appearance. Yeah, it's red writing, right? Da, 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 da. There's your flatted second of the A Phrygian. Da, 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 da. But then later on when you see blue Gura, like this part of the chorus, da, 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 it's solidly back in the A natural minor instead of the A Phrygian, so there's no flatted second anymore. The place where the A Phrygian was the most prominent, because they literally go up and down the notes of the Phrygian scale, was like at the end of this bridge when red Gura is being her most brutal, I guess, and she's like really trying to break Gura. Da, da. Da, 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 da. But when true blue Gura like finally breaks free and she's like Sayonara, we're cleanly back in the A natural minor scale. So there's like a good reason for why when blue Gura sings there is this release and tension in the music. Like it's precisely this back and forth between the tension filled dark sounding ominous A Phrygian scale and then the flipping towards the less dark, less tense but still melancholic A natural minor. Yes, I love that back and forth. It was a great way to emotionally portray the process of, I guess, growth and accepting yourself. So while this song, it went really deep into feelings of inadequacy, there was also an underlying message about learning to accept both like your strengths and your weaknesses as part of your identity. Like that final break to the A natural minor that we just listened to, that was Gura finally drawing a line in the sand and like saying to her insecurities, get out, like I am who I am and I will not apologize for that. It's interesting that she also said goodbye and then she said thank you as well. So I guess she's also acknowledging that the parts of herself that aren't strong, that aren't, confident, they also make up who she is. And without that part as well, she wouldn't be who she is. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, I thought that message came through so strongly. And a large part of it was because of the use of those two scales. Oh man, it's so cool. I just went back to the beginning of the song and I discovered that in this part where like the A Phrygian is really rocking out hard, and also which is where Red Gura is speaking her Greek words. So this is A Phrygian. Da, 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 da. If you listen carefully, that's a B natural. So that's I'm assuming Blue Gura singing there. B natural. B natural is actually the only note that's not part of the A Phrygian scale. So it was almost like Gura was fighting her inner demons right from the start of the song. It's like very faint, but it's there. Another way that the song really emphasized the inner conflict was by changing time signatures. So the part where Blue Gura is really having a tussle with Red Gura is where the song switched from 4/4 common time to 6/8 compound time. Yeah, 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Also, Gura sounds so like small here, just hesitant, even though she is trying to stand up for herself. So still 6/8 time. Red Gura is so mean. Tremolo strings. Always bring in tremolo strings if you want to emphasize the creepiness. Okay, here is like we're back in 4/4 common time. But what's really interesting is that, so here Gura's singing lines about how she's been searching for answers and she's finally going to stop lying to herself. Yes, we are in 4/4 time, but it's quite syncopated because Gura is still singing in triplets. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. She's not quite there yet. Like she's still kind of stuck in the compound time of the previous 6/8 time signature. So it feels like this is still a moment where she's getting there, but she's not actually put her foot down yet and made the decision to stand up for herself. And where that happens, here it sounds a little bit more solidly on the 4/4 time. And then bam, 2 3 4 1. It's like when we went back to a much cleaner rhythmic meter that fits more with the 4/4 time, that's when she has finally made that decision and she's out in the clear. And I thought it was really cool. So by using both changes in time signature and changes in the two different scales, the song did actually really well in terms of conveying the underlying themes that Reflect is trying to get across. Hey, I'm glad I listened to that. I actually am impressed that was Gura's first OG song. I hope that it would have impressed a lot of people back when it was released, because I think a lot of thought went into how the music was constructed to complement the story or the messages that Gura was trying to get out through this song. So yeah, thank you, Thomas. I really enjoyed that one. I'll see you guys for another video soon, hopefully.